Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And we're here to answer, how should DC and Marvel better promote their comic books? And this is a question that was given to us by a Patreon. Raz, the Raz Man, a long patron right here. He asked this question on patreon.com/Jawiin. If you want to ask a question like Raz, you can go do that as well over there. There's a video producer level. Go check it out. Real quick before we get into his question, you might be noticing I'm wearing an Electric Superman t-shirt. Ash is wearing a Nightcrawler t-shirt. You want to check out some of these t-shirts, tpublic.com/Jawiin, tpublic.com/store/Jawiin. There's a link down in the description, link above. You can get yourself an Electric Super. You can do it Superman Red. We have a t-shirt store. Go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, to Raz's question, Ashley, DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
They should be promoting their comic books more, right?
Sure.
I think so. Any thoughts?
I do have a thought.
All right,
I
cool.
think both DC and Marvel, and probably Image, and probably anyone who has a property that is being made into a television show or a movie should be doing this. When you go to a comic book store and you are not used to buying comics, maybe you've never been there before, but you saw Captain Marvel and you loved it and you want to know where to start, and you find the Marvel shelf and you go ABC, then you just see a bunch of Captain Marvels. In fact, Kelly Sue DeConnick, who a lot of people hold up as one of the most important Captain Marvel writers, has 2 Captain Marvel Volume 1s because Marvel did a big reboot and renumbering.
Yep.
That's confusing. If there's no staff around, if the staff is busy, if the staff is unkind, if the staff doesn't care.
Or if you're at a Barnes & Noble.
Exactly. You might not be able to parse which is the best one. I think that when a movie or a TV show is coming out, on the trade dress, on the spine of the book, there should be some kind of sticker that says, like, starting point.
Ooh.
So that, like, Batman Hush should say starting point, because we've talked about this in lots of places. Batman Hush, if you don't know anything about Batman except Batman works with Robin in Gotham City, that's all you need to know, and
Basically.
you can get that story. You can learn a lot from
Every
it.
Batman villain's in it. Most of the sidekicks are in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can jump off from that point.
Yep.
Superman Birthright
Please
is
don't
like...
jump off.
Right.
Call somebody first.
Superman Birthright is like that.
Yeah.
The all new X-Men is like that. Like, there are good starting points, and I think that
But they're not clearly marked.
they're
is what you're
not
saying.
clearly marked, and there's a huge audience for the TV shows and the film, and the print audience is so much smaller, and I think it is because it looks like a difficult entry point, and I think that doing something like that could ease people who are on the fence about dipping their toes in comics.
Yes.
That's my big thought about marketing.
I think that's a great. I think it's a great thought. I was going to say that I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. A lot of people don't. I like it when they did this for Black Lightning. They're doing it for Shazam coming out here.
Yes.
Where they put the movie poster on the cover of, like, Volume 1. For Black Lightning, they did for Black Lightning Year 1, and it was, like, Cress Williams.
Which is the greatest Black Lightning origin.
And for Shazam, they're doing a new version of the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, which is what the movie's based on,
Yep.
and it's the poster of the movie. I think they should do more of that. So, like, one of those Kelly Sue DeConnick, Captain Marvel, should have the movie poster in the front. And I agree that, like, it would be nice, start here or something like that. I also think that there's a little bit more to be done. I think, and I've said this for years, I think that you should see a commercial for comic books before the movie. I think that movie company, Marvel and DC are the big ones that are going to pull this off.
Yes,
because
of
they are
course.
tied to these movie companies. But I think if I'm watching Shazam, before I see Shazam, I should see a 30-second commercial, 30 seconds, that all movie theaters that run Shazam are required to run, because we see ads for Coca-Cola, we see ads for all kinds of crap. We should see an
Credit
ad
cards.
for Shazam, and the whole commercial is 30 seconds to be like, like Captain Marvel, Billy Batson. If you like Shazam, you should start here, Shazam Volume 1, in your local Barnes & Noble stores.
Yeah, or the power of Shazam or whatever.
Yeah, we should see that ad. It should be the same for Captain Marvel. I've said that for Arrow for years. Now, now with Arrow, it's a little bit different because that's a TV commercial, so that's a different pricing thing. But, like, with movies, you can make that part of the distribution.
The package that you buy.
Yeah. When you buy Aquaman, when you buy Shazam, you got to have that commercial, and you cannot not show that commercial.
I also think something that independent cinemas have done, because we know people who have worked these events, I think when you walk out of Captain Marvel or Shazam, there should be a table in the lobby run by a local comic shop where they have volumes that you can walk away with.
And if not, there should at least be a rack
Yes.
with those, like we talked about those movie posters trade,
Yeah.
so that if a kid was walking out, be like, oh, cool. I mean, one, that would help the movie theater, and two, that would help comic books. Like DC and Marvel or Image, all of them would love to be able to sell to the lobbies of movie theaters. You know, that's a new avenue that they've never broken into. That would be great.
Or I think if you maybe you partner up with a local store, like if there's a store down the street from you, and the local store says, okay, if you come in with your movie ticket from Guardians of the Galaxy, we'll give you 30% off any Guardians of the Galaxy book. Like there's a lot of ways to do it, but it's all more work. It's all more steps, and it's difficult to get two different entities to talk to each other sometimes.
Yes, or two different sections of the same company, or two different industries. I also think that sometimes with certain movies, midnight packages, they should offer that if you buy midnight, you get a free Comixology download code to Captain Marvel Volume 1. Or, like, if you're in the first screening, like you're the first screening of the night, you get a free download code.
And a lot of the big first volumes or first issues, they're on Comixology Unlimited, so they're free.
They're free anyway. They're free anyway. Now, let's talk about just basic other promotion instead of like getting away from the movies a little bit.
Sure.
I will say this: I think DC has done a great job with the Walmart comic books. Now, I know this has been a point of contention, but I argue against it because I am a person who bought his first comic book in a Walmart in the 90s.
And look at where he is now.
Look at me. I'm wearing an Electric Superman t-shirt. I'm living the dream in front of all these action figures back here. I got a Spawn in-package action figure thanks to Nate Olson back here. Yeah. That's the dream I'm living. I bought my first comic book in a Walmart because when I first started reading comic books in the 90s, my local Walmart had a comic rack.
Yep.
There was a comic rack in the same aisle that has like cards and Magic cards and Digimon cards. There was a rack of comic books. They later moved it to the toys. So when I read Age of Apocalypse, I bought them from Walmart.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. So the fact that DC is like, let's go back to Walmart because there is a Walmart in almost every town in America, I think is genius. Now, I know some of the people have been like, oh, but the exclusive story. But that's how you get a corporation like Walmart
to buy into it.
To buy a book, because 12 pages of that book is exclusive and the rest of it's reprints.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I actually think it's quite genius. And I actually even pitched the idea to you once that I was like, you know what? There's all these DC comic book titles that are being canceled left and right, whatever, you know. If DC or Marvel doesn't think a certain book could carry 12 issues, why not package them with 4 other series? Like, put a Superman book on top, but like, let's get Sideways. Let's get our Blue Beetle series. Let's get our Renee Montoya question series and something else. And you get a Superman story with 4 brand new stories. And you're sort of spreading the cost, that's like $9.
I apologize for interrupting.
It's all right.
I also don't understand why that's not what. It's, again, the big two of these is one to speak about. Why that's not what they do with their digital comics, because Marvel and DC at different times have tried different things with digital comics. Something like Bombshells really takes off, but like the Arrow tie-in comics don't take off in the same way. If you have a book like, let's say, Omega Men, Omega Men always sold okay.
Yep.
It's an awesome book, and you should definitely check it out.
It's the best thing Tom King has ever written.
It is very critically acclaimed, and it had such a large fan base that when they thought about canceling it, the fans screamed so loud they let it actually finish.
They let it finish.
Why not? If you can't hit whatever your metric is for print, why not say, we hear you, we're going to finish out this arc, we're porting it over onto the digital side. That way, too, it's cheaper for you to buy.
It's true. I don't know. Are any other thoughts towards like how DC and Marvel should promote their books? It's a hard question to answer, basically, because you and I are not marketers.
No,
we
don't
fans.
have business degrees.
I mean, your idea about the spines only comes because of all your years of working in a comic book shop.
Yes, I did. I worked in a comic book shop for a long time. I also think Marvel and DC could do a better job at keeping stuff in print. But that is a bigger problem with Diamond and the larger publishing industry. And I think you should also look at digital sales, because I think that could affect what you want to print. The digital sales thing is very nebulous.
You know, I don't know. I also think that, and I'll say this as a person who used to be on a digital show that was ran by a comic book company. I always thought that I'll say this, no comic book company, not a single one of them, have figured out digital yet.
No, I'll agree with that 1,000%.
They've not figured it out.
Yep.
They've made some good shots.
Yep.
There's some other ones that made some bad shots, but no company, I don't think any company is taking the full advantage
of digital new media,
social media,
marketing.
YouTube, everything. They're all acting like they don't understand it still.
But it's because I think that's because print is this
Yeah.
old
yeah.
industry and this old way of thinking, and that's something that they'll either figure out or they won't.
Because I'm going to pitch you something right here. As a person who's doing a thread on Twitter right now about reading the entirety of Spawn, go check it out. Why not do a Twitter thread? 1 tweet a day, like 11 a.m., let's say, or even, 5 p.m. We get a new panel of a comic book. Give us a comic book over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? What does that hurt? People might come, again, there's so many ideas, but I don't think anybody's taking advantage of digital in the way that they really could.
Yes.
Like a company could change the landscape if they fully activated digital, and none of them have done it. So yeah, there you go. I hope that answered your question there, Raz. If you want to get a question like Raz answered, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/Jawiin. Sign up for the what is it, the Mind University producer level?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's a long title.
Yes.
Why do we call it that long?
Because Mind University.
Oh, well, thank you, Raz. And, I love Raz because, I don't know, he is a master of the suplex. That's a wrestling move, Ashley.
Yeah.
He's a master of the suplex. Don't screw with Raz. He will suplex you with his elbows. I don't even know that's how suplex works. But go down to the comments. Tell us what you think about Marvel and DC promoting their comics. Give us your pitches down there. While you're down there, click subscribe. And Ashley, what's some other cool things they can get on Patreon?
Well, while you're over at Patreon, don't forget to check out the Crisis Club video series, which has begun.
It has begun.